Takes us live. You're live. We're live. It's the Beck Scrum. We have Sam, we have Nick, we have Brent, we have Michael. What in the universe is going on? I've just been doing a face-to-face session with Mikhail and talking to him about static sites and blogging systems and Jekyll and his new project on a boating system. Yes. Before that, we had the Elixir mob, and yeah, I've also been fixing some bugs on website 1 today and pushing that out, and we've got the async photo meeting coming up after this. I still have some weird errors on local support, but I'm kind of ignoring them until tomorrow. Brent, you were in next. How are things going with you?
Yeah, not done much today, unfortunately. Attended the Phoenix mob, which was good. I've got the async voter later, and I've also got the local support peering session later today as well. But yeah, no blockers, and yeah, I'm good.
All right, excellent. Nick, how are things going with you?
With me? Or
yep.
Yeah, me. I just was wondering, the issue that we have in local support, the one that is related to how it looks in mobile, this one.
Oh yeah.
If we are going to work the different tasks that we have, should we create a different pull request per each one of them, or how can we split it in order not to crash with other people that maybe want to work in the same task, or I don't know.
That's a good question. We can talk about that at the end of the Scrum. Anything else on your mind? Anything else blocking you?
No.
All right, good show. Let's just check in with Michael and see how he's doing. Hey, Michael, how are you doing?
How are you? Good. I wanted to ask you whether you had successfully imported NumPy on that Azure instance.
The answer is not yet.
Okay.
But I can probably do that in the background while we look at other things. Anything else going on for you? Anything blocking you?
No. I think if you can import that, did you try to install NumPy?
Sounds like I did not yet. No.
Okay, don't try to install it first, but just try to import it, and then that will verify
that it's available to everybody.
That's multi-user installation.
Yes, indeed. Cool. Yeah,
I think as long as we run the pip3 install with a sudo, it writes to the system. But if you just try pip3 install without a sudo, it may go through, but it'll only write to your local user. Which obviously we don't want everybody who might be administering the mob to have to reinstall everything.
Oh, indeed.
So,
yeah,
it's preferable just to use the sudo.
Sure. Yes, and so this is for the deep learning mob, where we're setting up all the neural networks to run on an Azure box. Yeah, and I should have an answer for you momentarily about whether that's worked or not. But that's sounding good. Nothing else blocking you, Michael, or any other plans you want to share with us?
Nope.
All right, that is our Scrum. So we could easily just have a little look at what, well, both of these two things. What we're going to look at, what Nicola was talking about, also what Michael was talking about. I've just got the server running. My plan had been to what's the word? Yeah, do this during my lunchtime, but then that ended up being quite late. But so, if I just do import NumPy here like this?
You don't need a string. It's
just the word.
Just the word, like yeah.
It's thinking about it. It hasn't replied.
I think if you do like,
Control
Enter or something, it'll create like a new.
It is. I mean, you notice this number is increasing here, like 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think it's
okay. If you do like numpy dot mults or something like mults or divide div numpy dot divide, I think is a thing, and then do like 1 and 5, and like 1 and 5. Divide, like spell out divide. 1,5. Like it knows how to divide. No. Like a function call.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need parens. Yeah, there you go. That should be, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. So that looks like that's working. Cool.
Good.
Good
Okay.
stuff. All right. I'm just going to have to take a layer off. Here is that ticket for local support. Give me heating up in my
Yeah,
hand.
that one.
I'm drinking hot tea. Just take 2 layers off. There we go. Right. Layered out. Yeah, so we had this issue where I screwed up and merged in the work in progress thing.
Yeah, no worries.
But like I think we worked out like this the individual thing that you changed is like standalone. It's a small improvement of which there's various improvements that should be made. Yeah, and I guess what we've sort of got here is that this is an epic that's got all these different things. So we've got options here to either say, let's have a single ticket and we're going to work on each of these tasks. I mean, these could still be independent pull requests, and we just let people know to do that. Or we could break out and we could create an epic and then create separate tickets for each of these things. It sort of depends, like, can we be bothered to do that? How big, how challenging are each of these individual tasks?
Well, okay. I think that resizing the map, if we just try to do it for one of the views, it's gonna be like the same for the rest of the other views. So I don't think that it's gonna be complicated.
Yeah,
but I don't know what the rest.
Yeah, Brent, any thoughts?
I don't think there's a need to break them out into individual tickets. I just think we can create if somebody wants to work on one, as long as they put a comment in here and they create a branch based on what they're working on and then a separate pull request, I think that would work.
Okay.
But I don't mind. I mean, we can go through and create individual tickets, and I'm happy to do that if we think that's the best route. I really don't mind.
Yeah, I think both ways will work. I would say that if we were motivated to create separate tickets, it would be more for yourself, Brent, or Nicola, being interested in creating an epic. Like we've had other epics in the past. It's kind of, we've got other bits and pieces. If you were interested in using the epic functionality within the pivotal tracker and also seeing the flow of separate tickets for each of these things, and that was kind of like you were interested in doing that, then that would be enough of a reason to switch it over. But if you're like, nah, I'm more interested in actually working on the code and just getting these fixes in and getting it all out, then I would say that adding the epic is kind of overheads to that. And so it's sort of entirely up to you, I would say, what workflow you feel best with, because I don't think there's so many other people desperately trying to look for tickets and so on.
No, I mean, if you want, Nicholas, we can maybe create the epic and the different tickets in this evening's pair session, or we can just go forward as we've discussed. I don't mind.
What I think is the simplest way is just leave it there and work on the tasks. Maybe today in our session.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. Yeah,
I think that sounds good. And if it turns out that there's some, maybe that you can mash through them and they all just get done. If it turns out that there's two of them that are like really hard or whatever, and you want to kind of like say, oh, I'm sick of doing this now, and you want to throw that over for other people, then that might be a good time to make another ticket. But I think we have a plan.
Cool.
I have another question.
Oh yeah.
If I tag you in Pivotal Tracker, do you receive a notification or something?
I do. I get an email, and it also appears in here. And it also appears in Slack in the notifications channel. but
Oh, okay.
I have to say that I am much slower. I mean, it's a great place to put things because it's like you know, the questions are associated with it and other people could answer it. But I have to say I'm a little bit slow to get to things there. I tend to respond, you know, I tend to be responding to people in Slack, like
Okay.
faster. But that's, you know, like if someone asks me a question with @Tansaku in here, then I'll definitely like I'll see it sooner. But
Sure.
you know, for future proofing it, like people will probably be able to find the things. But so this is also a great thing though, is like if you come into a thing now, like
yeah, because I didn't know if I was tagging you there and you were gonna see it, or
and partly the
Slack.
scrums are a thing in which, you know, to like they're a good way to like force these things that I might have missed because I'm, you know, managing. But so I'm trying to go to. So this is, so you were asking me a question here about this ticket, which is refactor what RSpector 1 expected per it block. Yep. And you were asking, what do you think if we convert this issue and instead of doing a refactor on the test, we refactored the logic of the volunteer op model for saving the coordinates? Yep. Yeah. So I mean, absolutely.
And I think that I found another issue that is related to what that one.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I think I've got this as a very, you know, I've got this as a very, very high level. Yeah, well, this is the one that we were looking at before, and we were, right.
The thing is that if we modify the model for doing what I propose, we are going to have to modify the test.
The test structure.
Yep.
Absolutely. So I mean, I think, you know, if we can improve the model, that's kind of, and that you know, nullifies the refactoring of the RSpec, that's absolutely fine. I guess I'm not. So you're talking about here of like saving the coordinates associated with it so that we store them rather than recalculating them each time.
Yeah, and I think that I don't know why some of them are being saved as nil.
Well, I think some of them. I don't know the answer to that.
I think that we have.
I suspect that some of the things coming in from Do It don't have Latin long, but I might be wrong, and it may be just like a bug in our code somewhere. So that's certainly something to investigate. The yeah, I mean, the thing I would say about this kind of refactoring is this feels like a bigger chunk of work, like doing the refactoring and making sure everything goes on. I think if you're feeling like, yes, I want to take that on and I want to do that, wonderful. But it is a bigger chunk. What I would say is that then what I would love to see in the changing to as the test change as well, that they also have this kind of like one expect per it block, and that they you know, it's telling us more about the high level of why, like this one is just saying like returns volunteer ops group by coordinates. This is, you know, there's kind of an English language description here, which is like, you know, when we look for the volunteer ops at this location, we see the two that we expect. There's that English language description that we worked out, you know, as a result of working through it. That I you know, I should be pulled. That's what the refactoring is about. So as long as any new that's refactoring of the RSpec, as long as any refactoring of the model follows that kind of approach in terms of the test, then I'm very happy.
Okay. And I think that some of the registers that we are saving, they have nil because that method that is there.
Right. This one here. Yeah. No, I did see this earlier on today, and I was thinking about it. And that's it's a very good question that you ask here about this. So we've got this after validation. If the source is local, then we should. No, so I think that it was Smago who worked on this originally, and I think what this is supposed to do is like for the local ones.
Yep.
So we've got the things are coming from Do It, coming from Reach Skills. We've got the local ones, the ones that have been entered directly into the system. I think the idea is that they rely upon the organizational lat and long for their position rather than themselves. I mean, I think it's maybe handling a situation for the the original data, but maybe it's time to change. I'm not sure. I think one would have to experiment with this.
More research. Yeah.
Yeah, but certainly the ones that we've been seeing that don't have any latitude and longitude are not the local ones. It's certainly some of the ones coming in from Do It that seem to have no location.
Okay.
So this one wouldn't be being applied to them.
Perfect.
Yeah. But so this ticket, yeah, but so I would say like this ticket here is explicitly, it's a research ticket. Okay. So if we were doing like, if you clicked start on this ticket as you have, this ticket would be specifically about trying to work out why, and yeah,
nothing more.
You've made a suggestion there. I think we need to keep looking further as to why, because this might be part of the problem. We need to do some more experiments. We need to particularly look at the data coming in from Do It, but this would just be research. So this ticket would be finished when we think we really know why that's not working, and then we create a new ticket to be, all right, fix this problem with so and so, if that makes sense.
Yep, makes sense.
Cool. All right, good stuff. Well done. So great to have you in the Scrum, and you can see how fast we can make me look at things that you've written when we're doing it in the Scrum together. I think that's everything for the Scrum. It's time for the async voter meeting, so I'll see some of you there and others of you tomorrow.
Sam has a stylish shirt today.
My wife is trying to improve. It's a bit of a lost cause, but there you go. All right, bye for now.
Bye.